Today we are here with Diane Interview, who is one of the content creators on our team. So Diane, can you tell us a little bit more about how you got into making video?
I started editing videos when I was like 15 in high school. I just saw, it was so random. I was on YouTube one day and I saw people taking TV shows and cutting their own stuff together, and I was like, what is this?
Okay.
And for some reason it interested me so much that I decided to start doing it as a hobby.
Okay.
And that hobby then turned into a very serious interest that I pursued into my adult life, and that's how I ended up here.
That's amazing. So this is something that as a teenager
Yeah.
was interesting and compelling to you, and you followed it into a career as an adult.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. If I think of the things that I thought of doing when I was a teenager, and how I've not ended up doing them as an adult.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome that you actually had such a clear sense of what you wanted to do and who you wanted to be, that you already picked something back then.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely wasn't my plan when I started.
Okay.
So it did start off as just a hobby. And then by the time I did get to 18, I was like, well, there's nothing else that really interests me as much as this, and there's nothing else that I'm this passionate about, because then I started getting into like making stuff for my school.
Okay.
So we would do like silly little videos. Me and my classmates would get together and make stuff for assemblies.
Okay.
And we would have these like cultural days where people would basically do arts and poetry and stuff like that. And so I would like make my contribution and make little films.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah, so by the time I was in matric, I was just like, why am I fighting to do something else when this is what I'm passionate about right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
And what was that other thing that you were maybe thinking of doing?
Well, I wanted to be a forensic pathologist.
Wow.
Which came from...
That's not filmmaking.
That came from me watching a lot of like CSI and
Okay.
thinking that I would be like a good mortician, and I don't know, for some reason I was just
A
like...
good mortician. Oh my goodness.
And then there was also some point where I wanted to be like an accountant, or just like not really stuff that I wanted to do, but what I'm told, like, this is something you should do. Like, it would be good for you to do this.
Okay. So you were told that being an accountant would be a good career choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that now?
It's not that I don't think it would be a good career choice. I think I'm just not that type of person.
Okay.
But I do think there are benefits to any career. So
Yes. And you're happy with the one that you've chosen for yourself?
Yeah. It's always like exciting, and there's always new things to do, and I get to hear people's stories and help tell stories, so that also makes me really happy.
Yes.
Yes.
Clearly, and you're doing such a great job on our project. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So you work a lot in editing the video behind the scenes. So I haven't seen a lot of you. I work with the camera guys every single day.
Yeah.
And you're just the source of videos that come out the other side. Once in a while, Diane sends me a hard drive with finished stuff on it. But I don't actually get to see you at work. So what does an average day of work look like to you?
The first thing I do before I start editing is I have to like sort through all of the footage and understand what it is that I'm doing. So I'll go through the footage that Fish and Reza will bring, and just like before I even start editing, I like to just listen to the interviews and the content and get a feel for it and figure out like how am I going to piece this together. Then I'll set up the project. Once I've done that, then I'll start cutting and piecing everything together. And that's pretty much the rest of my day until I finish them, and I just queue them up to render.
So you just sit behind your computer all day, watching and listening again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
Does that repetition ever get to you?
No, because every video is different. So it's more like an exciting thing for me that I get to every day see something new and hear a new story and figure out how can I tackle this and what do I need to do to make this, to tell this person's story. Like every time I'm behind the computer editing, I'm thinking like, I need to do my best so that I can help this person share their story. So
I love that.
yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
I love that. So you put yourself in that person's shoes.
Yeah, and I need to, for me, I'm just thinking I need to put this together in a way that does them justice. So
Yes.
something that is professional, that looks good, that is clean, you know, that just helps other people engage with them as much as they are telling the story and I can feel their passion. So
I'm so thankful to have that intention in my work. Thank you. You mentioned that you enjoy watching the clips. They're like an adventure to unwrap them and see what's inside. Have you learned anything new or interesting from working on this project that you didn't know about before?
I have learned something, but I think it's more of like an overarching thing and not just like one skill. I've learned that there are a lot of people out there that are working towards being more sustainable and working ethically, if that makes sense. So I'm very aware of climate change and like the climate crisis. And so one of like something that I struggle with is how do I help? Like what can I do to make an impact? And I often feel that I don't have many choices or many options, but through this project I've learned that there are ways, like through upcycling, there are ways that you can help and like make an impact. And it doesn't necessarily mean like you have to go off the grid completely and like take an extreme measure, but you can, even with just upcycling and reusing textiles and finding new ways of reusing things that you already have, that you can make a difference. So for me, like it helped me because I was like, there are people who are doing this. It's not like you can't do anything. You can make a change, even if it's like just with what you wear or the clothes or the items that you have in your home. So yeah.
You're giving me goosebumps. Yeah. That's so cool.
It made me feel a lot better because I do often feel like, what can I do? Like, how do I help?
So just think about it. When I started the Upcycled Cloth Collective, I was one individual like you with no voice.
Yeah.
And today 113,000 people can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay. So don't feel like there's nothing you can do. We all have the ability to do something.
Yeah.
And it's just about going, oh, what can I do today with what I have here? So thank you. That was such great feedback. That's amazing. So what's your favorite thing about filmmaking?
I love being able to tell stories and like all types of stories. So I love the fictional stuff like sci-fi and stuff that's completely like out of this realm, the supernatural stuff. But I also love like documentaries and telling real people's stories because I feel like those are stories that need to be told and need to be heard. We need to hear about other people's lived experiences just as much as we need to know about like superheroes.
Yes,
other types of media. So for me, filmmaking, the thing that I love is being able to hear all sorts of different types of stories and be a vessel to like tell those stories to other people.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for telling our story for us.
Thank you.
And one final question.
Yes.
What is your favorite science fiction novel?
Science fiction novel?
Or maybe story. Do you have a favorite?
I love Star Wars.
Okay.
Is that science fiction?
Yes, absolutely. Is Star Wars the winner for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing.
Thank you.
I love that. I think of all the science fiction video movies that I've seen, I like Battlestar Galactica the best.
Yeah, that's also a good one.
I know it's old, but the way they always flip the story, like there's always a Cylon hiding somewhere.
Yeah.
That for me, I think, made it my favorite. Thank you so much for having a conversation with me today. I appreciate it so much, and thank you for infusing beautiful energy into my project. I appreciate having you here too.
Thank you so much.